Paper. Paper puns are pretty terrible. What is paper, you may ask? Paper is a material made in thin sheets of pulpwood. It was one of the most significant things that contributed to the spread and growth of civilization. Before paper was used, people used tortoise shells, bones and bamboo slips. Yet they proved to be unsuitable because of their weight and bulk. Later on, hemp fiber was used, the poor people's stuff, and silk was also used, but the quality was not satisfying and the materials could be used better for other purposes. The Zafu, a Chinese idiom, described a smart-ass man who needed 5 carts to carry around all his books for teaching. Reading took physical strength like big muscles as well as brain work because of the mass amounts of Chinese characters in the written language. What made it harder as well was that it did not have any sort of alphabet like a B, C, D, E, F, G. Paper was made in 105 CE by Ceylon using fishnets bark and cloth. If bought in mass, it was cheaper. The making technique was exported to Korea in 384 CE, then took to Japan 610 CE. 11th century, the skill carried out to Indians, Arabs, Africans and Europeans whom all mastered the skill. The first proper factory was in Europe, Spain. Later 16th century it was brought to America. By the 19th century it was worldwide. Ceylon was listed in the Book of 100 Most Influential Persons in the World.
China was one of the first civilizations in the world to invent a central currency, but many historians have disputed this fact. From what we know about China is that up until very recently they kept to themselves and only did minor interactions with the outside world. This meant that even if other nations had come up with a central currency before China, the Chinese would have invented their currency alone. It was the Chinese style of currency that was adopted by the Europeans and spread across the world during the colonial era. This style was made up of copper coins and paper notes. The Chinese even had a form of central imperial bank which was responsible for all economic affairs. The first Chinese form of currency was a series of shells which were first used around 4,000 years ago during the Qin dynasty in 221 BCE. The Chinese even invented copper coins. These were called
金半两钱.
These coins were round with a square hole in the center and writing which outlined the value of the coin. Then in around 900 CE, which was just after what is regarded as the ancient Chinese period, paper notes were introduced.